Hi everyone, we're heading out for our morning walk. This area that we're in here is just not as nice as where we just came from. You know, we were over there outside of Leadville, and that area was just beautiful for walking, and you know, all the water. Now this area here is pretty dry. We don't get any water features here. There's no creeks, there's no rivers, there's no lakes. Well, that's a shame. We just walked. Excuse me? What the heck is that? Something up there. Hey, I'm trying to make a video. I flew away. So we just walked from, you know, if you see this road here that winds up in, it's about, it's a little over a mile back to our camp. So we just walked down here because there's a creek, but no bueno. Hey, come here. That's an electrified fence, buddy. At least some part of it is. But there's no water in the creek, and I wasn't expecting it. Last year we came over this creek, and I looked and saw that it was dry, and so I don't know, I guess only certain times of the year, and not this time of the year. There's cactus, there's ground cactus, so, but you can see these cactus, these are pretty scary. And these are peppered kind of all over the area here. So we can't just do like cross-country hiking. So we stay on the roads, and that's kind of boring, to be honest with you. And I feel bad for the pup, but you take the good with the bad. Yeah, this is what Lefty just found. Holy smokes. No. You can see it's kind of remnants out there. And it's still a nice area to be. The weather is mild here. If you've been with the channel for a while, you kind of know my story. Lost my job, decided to retire, downsize. Started filming everything that I was doing because I wanted to be a kind of an information repository for anybody that was thinking about doing the same thing, and especially if they're thinking about doing it in an ambulance. So we've been coming up on 2.5 years of traveling and living in our ambulance. I've had some people tell me that, you know, the popularity of ambulances as an option for a camping rig has become much more popular, and I've had people say that some of that is my fault for having such a, you know, prevalent amount of videos online and showing how good it can be in an ambulance. And so I accept that. I accept that responsibility. But a subject that is always in my mind is, if I'm going to be kind of held responsible for encouraging people to start traveling, camping in an ambulance, then I think sometimes I take that really seriously. And I've had people communicate with me, send me messages where things aren't going well. And that, like, each time I get a message like that, it kind of really hits me, and I want to talk about it all the time when I do see a message like that, because I have, you know, my experience with what I went through. I try to convey, hey, come on, leave it. This bag of garbage. Come on, Left. Right now today, and again, it's been, you know, it's coming up on 2.5 years. Right now today, we're pretty comfortable living in the rig. If you've watched my videos all along the way, you know that it's been sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back, trying to get the rig outfitted in a way that's comfortable. You know, always making modifications, and that's something that I know I'm always going to continue to do, because priorities change, needs change, all of that. Technology, equipment changes. So if I'm standing here 5 years from now, I'm going to be talking about something that I just did to the truck, or something that I'm about to do. That we're comfortable today. Was it always that way? No. And this is really, I want to focus on talking about how do you get through, how do you get over that hump in the beginning of discomfort? Because I would be surprised to find out if anyone's maiden days in their rig, full time now, mind you, I'm talking about, that if those first days were blissful and peaceful and comfortable. I would be surprised to hear that. About a month ago, one of you, this is uphill, I'm getting out of breath. Really hard to hike and talk. I'm gonna wait till we get to the top. About a month ago, a viewer left a comment on one of my videos, and they said that they did the same thing as I did. They downsized, sold their house, moved into a rig, and I'm not sure, I can't recall what type of rig they said, but they said that they lasted 50 hours, I think it was, and it was the most miserable 50 hours of their life. They quit, went back, rented an apartment, got a 7-Eleven counter type job, and said that they're the happiest they've ever been now in that setting. And when I read that, I had a couple of feelings. That first, I was really saddened to hear that they didn't have a good start, but I totally understand it, because I went through the same thing. And the other part of me thought and imagined myself in that kind of secondary life that they've now got, and I can see going to I would enjoy going to a job that didn't require high responsibility kind of thing, and then getting home, if you're in a small apartment, the TV goes on, you eat some dinner, and you're in bed. And while that might be comfortable for a day or two or a weekend, that would become pretty monotonous and kind of boring. Now sometimes when I'm sitting in my rig, like yesterday, I was sitting in the rig, kicked back in the zero gravity chair, watching Netflix, got 4 bars here. I'm watching Netflix, watching *Halt and Catch Fire*. Really great series if you haven't seen that and you're into tech, from early tech. Go watch *Halt and Catch Fire*. You'll really enjoy that series. But I'm kicked back in there. It's about 3 in the afternoon. I had just eaten a huge meal, and I thought to myself, I get this little twang of guilty pleasure, guilt feeling that I'm just sitting inside. And I said, now if I compare this to if I was still back in my house, I used to work a high pressure job, many hours, and I would spend time sitting on my couch, with Lefty curled up, watching videos and watching TV. And so when you compare comfort of being in a home setting to the comfort of being in a rig that's set up like mine, I would rather be in the rig, because at any time, I just look out the window and I'm sitting in a beautiful location, which changes periodically, and I'm able to, you know, really enjoy like freedom of relaxation. So sitting in the rig watching a little Netflix in the afternoon, I am, you know, like 110% relaxed and unplugged when I'm doing that. Yesterday it felt so good. And if compared to doing the same in a, you know, small apartment, I would choose doing it in the rig. Now, it took some steps to get to where I have that feeling. We're going to turn around here because there's campers up ahead. Come on, buddy. Don't get mopey. Come on, we're going to keep walking. We're just going to go the other way. Come on. Hey, stop putting the brakes on. Left. Oh my gosh. Where was I? I wasn't always this comfortable in my rig, you know, by far. We've had some uncomfortable times. Now, the comment that viewer left, that they, you know, decided it wasn't for them, I could have easily made that same decision. Our first day was pretty bad. I don't know that I documented it super well in an early video because I kind of had my hands full and my brain full just trying to get by. Now, one thing I'll say though, from that early discomfort, I learned something that first day, implemented it the second day, and every day since, that took a big chunk of stress off my shoulders. And that was having a destination when we head off to go to a location. So the first day, you know, I had these visions of, you know, just on the road and freewheeling and can just find a place to park and camp, right? And, you know, in a way that's true, but you got to have a general destination. So we took off on our first day and just hit the road and started driving south and made it all the way into West Virginia before I decided I just couldn't go anymore. And it was Labor Day weekend. So when I started looking for somewhere to camp, everything was full, and plus I was in an area that didn't have a lot of choices. Ended up finding a campground and talked to the owner. He said he had some overflow locations to come on up, and he did mean up because I ended up driving up a mountain, you know, a West Virginia mountain, to get to his campsite, which was tucked deep in the woods. And his overflow was just basically, you know, the dirt road went farther out into the forest, and you could pull over and park there. So, you know, no plug-ins, nothing. I didn't have my solar system yet. All I had was my WEN generator to recharge. So we pulled in there, paid the guy 20 bucks, pulled back up in there, got something to eat. It poured rain, like torrential downpours all night. Had a very sleepless night, very low on battery power. Ran the generator in the morning, packed up and left there really early. Went down the mountain, pulled over at a gas station to get a good cup of coffee, and found a destination location. Before we took off and did serious miles, I had a target. And I learned that from my first day, that was a stress point for me, and I fixed it. And to this day, anytime that we're planning on moving, I have an exact destination before we even hit the road. I learned that really quickly about myself, that I don't do well at the end of a driving day then trying to find a place to park. That for me just doesn't work. So I get a full destination, map it out, and then we drive to that destination. I wish that the viewer that had a bad first 50 hours went at it kind of systematically and solved the things that were causing them issues. Because everything is fixable. If you don't have enough power, you add power. If you don't have enough room, you can change or modify or upgrade to get more room. But all of those things are fixable, and you can't, I guess the point is, you can't expect everything to be perfect right out of the starting line, because it's not going to be. Even almost 2 years, or almost 2.5 years into our journey here, I still go through times of discomfort. And a great example is just recently when we spent time in New York and then left to get back on the road. I had to relearn some of my systems and my processes and my routines, not only because we'd been off the road for 3 months, but also because I had changed the truck. It was actually a little surprising to me how much I had to relearn, and I had to create some new routines because I had modified the truck. My clothes in a different place now, and these might not seem like big things, and they're not, but given in combination, you can spin around to get something, bang your head, catch your fingernail on the door handle, all of those kind of things that can add up to a really frustrating experience. The first couple of weeks on this part of our journey here, the first couple of weeks were pretty tough. Plus I wasn't feeling well. I talked about that in an earlier video. So I'm not feeling good. My truck layout has changed. I'm clunking around in there. I got pretty frustrated a couple of times in those early days. And I'm talking just a couple months ago. So almost 2.5 years into our travels. And still, if I let it, I can get pretty frustrated. Now, I had some moments, a couple months ago as I was struggling through the first week or two. I had some moments where I stopped myself and figured out how I was going to create new routines for whatever I was doing. So, all things, I added the sink, and so all of these things, from cooking to cleaning up, getting dressed, all of those things changed in some way because of those mods that I did to the truck. And there's a saying I use: if I was a weaker person, I probably would have failed. But I stopped myself, said, okay, this is going to be stored here now. This is my new routine. This is how I get this out of here and use it. This is how I brush my teeth in the truck. So these are all small things, but when you combine them all together, and if you're having a bad day, they can really add up to kind of a shit show. I guess the point I'm making is, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Go at your struggles systematically. Figure out what your kind of pressure points are, and then solve them. And everything is solvable again. Everything can be fixed, everything can be changed, so that you can end up feeling really good. It doesn't happen quickly, it doesn't happen overnight, but you can build a really comfortable life living in a rig. And once you're situated and you've made that jump from your past life, and now you're going to live in your rig, just really don't get frustrated in the beginning, because it is it can be very stressful. Not only the mechanical logistics part of it, the how you do this and that can be stressful, but the overarching umbrella of this is my life now, I live in a truck, that can be stressful. I get twangs of that periodically, even to this day. You know, I sometimes, it's a strange feeling that comes over me, and I say, you know, what the heck am I doing? You know, this is bonkers, right? That hits me. Even as I'm talking about it right now, I can feel that feeling. So I live for the day. If I wanted to really focus on that aspect, you know, like what am I going to be doing in 5 years? I don't know that I would mentally be able to handle that kind of thought process every day. So I focus on being comfortable now, being sure that I take care of the dog every day, take care of myself, stay clean, stay fed, keep the truck clean. Those are the things that I do day in and day out to be comfortable. And I push that thought of future out of my mind because I don't know what the future holds. And I don't want to obsess over that. And if you're just starting out to live in your rig, that can really overtake you. And it could make you say, I can't do this. You know, I could see that if I focused on that I could give up and not want to live out here like this. Are we comfortable in the rig? Yes. After the building, the modifications, there's not much that I would change right now. I wish I could stand up all the way, but from you know, being able to cook and keep myself clean and keep Lefty comfortable, keep us warm, keep us cool, all of those things I have systems for, routines in place, equipment for. We are comfortable living in that rig right now. I really hope that any of you that are designing a rig or building one right now, you can't get it all right from right out of the gate, but hopefully if you look at some of the things I've done and some of the things that other people have done with their rigs, you get a really good idea of where you can start. And you know, everybody's needs are different, everybody has different priorities, but if you're looking for comfort, warmth, security, technology, power, staying cool, staying warm, all of those things, you know, look at the things that I've done and hopefully they'll give you some starting points to think about what you can do in your rig. Designing, planning, building my rig has been some of the best days of my life. I really enjoy building it because I'm kind of coming up with ideas and doing things from scratch, and I really enjoy that. And those of you that have your rigs back in your driveway that can do that all the time, I'm really envious because you can really fine-tune and dial things in without having to worry about having to live in it every day while you're doing it. So those of you, I'm expecting some of the best rigs ever to be built from those of you that are using them as camping vehicles, and I know there's a lot of you out there. I've said this before, try to take some short interim trips before you are full-time, and before you've handed over the keys to your house to the realtor. Try to take some shorter trips, see how things are working, change things, but remember, when you do go on the road and you're going to have some struggles, you can fix them. You can change anything. You can add stuff, remove stuff. I'm sure you've planned it out so that you have some financial resources when you're beginning. So don't let it overtake you, the frustration. You will get frustrated, but you can change and fix all those things. I hope all of you have a great start to your journeys. I hope this video gives you some encouragement. Just know that it is not out of the ordinary to get frustrated. You will get frustrated, but you can fix all that stuff. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Everybody take care, be safe, and we'll see y'all again really soon. just walked away on me. What? Okay. Okay.